Good morning. Welcome to Walking Boxing, Monday, December the 16th, 2024, and it's going to be a warm one today, and a short walk, by the way, because it was about 7:45 or something here in the AM, and it is already pushing 25 degrees and going to get up to around 35 here. Now again, this is one of the coolest places in the state, so it's going to be well over 40 degrees in some places around Victoria today, so not good. But in true typical Victorian fashion, tomorrow I think it will be about half of that. It's going to be in the low 20s, so that's just Victoria. But anyway, yeah, so it's going to be a warm one. We'll just keep Neil on a short walk this morning. He's already starting to struggle a little bit there, but we'll keep it short. But anyway, good weekend of boxing. Yesterday I went down to the Melbourne Pavilion, buddy, to see Andrew Moloney in his comeback fight. It was great to be down there. I'm not sure I've actually been to the local fights since I finished promoting. Maybe I think I might have been to a Will Tomlinson fight. I can't remember, but it's been a long time. My last promotion was in February 2020, and ironically, the fight that headlined my last show was this Van Zilly against Jade Mitchell, and I sat next to Jade yesterday. How is that, eh? I haven't seen Jade for quite some time. Yeah, it was really good to catch up with Jade. He's a real character of the sport. Always entertaining, always colourful, always with some good things to say. You would have seen, if you know Jade, you've seen a lot of his press conferences, and always speaks really well, and likes a bit of the spotlight. So it's really good. But it was good to see him and a few of the other guys that used to be around for my shows as well. So it was a good day, and particularly for Andrew Moloney. And I think I said the other day, it must have been hard for Andrew. He's gone from a big world title fight at the MGM Grand on the Lomachenko-Haney card. He's fought in the main support in a world title fight against Lomachenko again, and this time Kambosos in Perth. And to sort of go back to not just the domestic level, but the small domestic level, must have been pretty tough for Andrew. But as far as you've got to sell tables and tickets and chase people up for money, and you're fighting in front of 500 or 600 people. But look, I thought he handled it really, really well. It was a Sunday afternoon. As I said, it's a long way from the MGM Grand, let's just say that. But I was really proud of Andrew in that he never let that get to him. He knew he had the job at hand. He knew that he had to take this fight. Apparently he had to have a fight before the end of the year as far as his ranking and all that stuff goes. And he just had to get on the best show possible, and that was yesterday Lim Jecker's show, and it was great to see Lim again as well. Great character again of the sport, known Lim for a long time, so he was a promoter. But Andrew had to do what he had to do, and he did it. And he did exactly what was expected of him against an opponent like that. There's nothing wrong with the opponent, by the way. A lot of people look at records. He had over 50 fights, fought a lot of good fighters and a lot of experience. Excuse me. But Andrew got the job done. He just, the first two rounds, you could probably see Andrew was just, I won't say tentative, but he wanted to have a real good look at him. He hadn't been in the fight in the ring for I think 7 or 8 months since the Guevara fight back in, May or whatever it was. And he was just patient. I think he knew that he had the tie covered. And then when the time came in the third round, he dropped the bomb and it was all over. And look, it was, as I said, he did exactly what he had to do against an opponent like. He's been around the tie, had, as I said, a lot of fights, but Andrew probably should have got him out of there early, and he did, and that's all you can do. And I felt really good after the fight for Andrew, when he said that, I'm back now. It's maybe not the opponent that he's truly back, but I think what he meant was the fact that he's back as far as just in his mindset. It was great to see a smile on his face. He's had a really tough last few years, Andrew. Of course, he had the Joshua Franco debacle when he was ripped off in that fight, when he clearly landed a punch to the eye that closed the eye. They had to stop the fight, and they tried for 30 to 40 minutes to try and find this accidental headbutt that didn't exist, and they ruled it an accidental headbutt anyway, which is just one of the biggest travesties I've ever seen in the sport. Then he went to Las Vegas and took on Junto Nakatani, that is, who's probably in the top 10 pound for pound fighters in the world, and look, gave it his absolute all, was knocked out brutally in the 12th round, and I think a lot of people, including myself, thought that might be it for Andrew. He then fought his way back, got a crack at the vacant WBC super flyweight title or the interim title against Pedro Guevara, and lost a very, very close decision. I thought he won the fight, but again, doesn't matter what I think. And the fact that he's got over that, he could again easily, well, he did retire, didn't he, in the ring after that. We all remember that, but I think we all knew that was his frustration. But look, to be honest, I wouldn't have blamed him right there and then if he had to give it away. So many kicks in the guts that he'd had, and he took a deep breath, he reevaluated, took stock, and he's aiming for another shot, and he did what he did yesterday. He fought at the Melbourne Pavilion on a Sunday afternoon in front of a few hundred people, but you know what, he got the job done, and now he is back in the mix of things. The IBF belt, I think, is up for grabs. I can't remember who the two fighters are that are fighting for it, but it looks like Andrew might be in line to face the winner. He might have to have one more fight, I'm not quite sure, but Team Moloney yesterday were very confident that he will be in line for a shot next year, and I just think it's great. And if you've never met the boys, what you see on TV is what you get. Just like raised, properly, just fantastic young guys. Well, they're not so young anymore either, they're in their 30s, but just great guys who will always take a picture, sign an autograph, just stop for a chat with absolutely anyone. Just the best guys you'll meet, great families. Great to see the little tackers in there yesterday in the ring after the fight, running around, Andrew's little kids. It was just a good day. And as I said, I was just more happy for Andrew to see a smile on his face, because it's been a while since he's had one, and as I said, it's been a very, very frustrating few years for him, and I just want to see him get another crack. And whether he wins or not, well, that's up to him and whatever comes about. But it was really good to be there. And as per usual at some of these fight nights, there was a fight in the crowd. I don't know why people just insist on flexing against other supporters or whatever it might be. I just don't get it. It was separated pretty quick. Sorry, I've just lost Neil here. Where is he? He's gone behind the car, hiding in the bush probably. Come on, man. I just don't know why at an event like that, there's opposing support bases. Someone said something, and all of a sudden people have got to puff the chest out, and it becomes a bit of a pissing contest. And I just don't get it. There's families there, and it's a Sunday afternoon for God's sake. And we've got two groups of supporters who are flexing their muscles and refusing to back down. And I don't like to see it. I just think it's ridiculous. But anyway, there's a boxing ring there. If you want to get in there and fight, we'll get in there and fight. Anyway, each to their own. But what else happened just actually before I move on, just stay tuned. Also, had a good talk with Jason yesterday, Jason Moloney. And he's probably, if he's watching this now, he would have just taken a big gulp. He's thinking, no, he's not going to drop the news, is he? No, of course I'm not going to drop the news. He has a big fight announced for early next year. Again, can't spill the beans, but it was really good again to see him with a smile on his face, because he's had a rough year as well. He lost that world title in Japan earlier in the year. He was on cloud nine yesterday, bouncing around, because he's got a big fight that will be announced, I'm sure, very, very soon. A great opportunity for Jason to be back as well. So the Moloney boys, don't write them off just yet. They've still got some air left in the tyres, and can't wait to see both boys, hopefully in 2025, both get a world title strap around their waist at the same time, because I don't think that's ever been the case. They've both been world champions, but not at the same time. So I would love to see it, and as would the very, very loyal supporters that have been around a long time. They turned pro in 2014, so what's that, 10 years now, and both just been great ambassadors for this country, and it probably, again, like some of the others out there that just don't get enough recognition for what they do on the world scene. So all the best to the boys, and I would love to be there for the fights next year. We'll see if it ties in with my travels. But on to some other news. I'll just quickly too, I did speak with Shannon O'Connell over the weekend. She gave me a call to let me know she was all good. Let's just say I was a little bit sheepish, because I think I did on the night, as you would have seen, did have it in Jazzy Parr's favour. But I'm going to watch the fight back. So I've had a lot of people say, no, Lyndon, I understand what you're saying, but you've got to watch the fight back. So I'm going to do it. But yeah, no, Shannon was great. Yeah, she understands the game. She's been around a long time, but she felt good. She's a bit busted up as always. Wouldn't matter if she has a first round knockout, she'll get marked up in some way, Shannon, but she was in really good spirits. Everything stacked against her, we know that, in that fight with Jazzy Parr, but got through it, got the win, and she's looking forward to maybe a title shot in 2025. Wow, add that one to the list. It's getting hard to keep up with all these Aussies fighting for world titles, but she's very, very confident. Again, like the Moloneys, having one last go at it. So can't wait to see her hopefully get her shot next year, and hopefully a big payday at this stage of her career. She's been really knocked around a lot in her career, not just in the ring, but outside the ring, as far as promoters, not me of course, taking advantage of her and not paying her properly. And I'm really hopeful that she will get that big payday and that world title belt around her waist after a 21 or 2021 year career. So yeah, 2025, big year for those three fighters. All right, so on to the weekend's results. Now, I didn't see the full card, but I saw that, was it Murajan Akhmadliev, I think his name is, with that third round knockout of Ricardo Lopez, Espinoza was it? For the WBC interim 122 pound title. And he'd done it in such good fashion that now maybe he's in line for a shot at Naoya Inoue. Of course, he's got to get past Sam Goodman first. But yeah, I like the fight. Oh, geez, I think it'd be an entertaining fight. I would still back Inoue because I think he's more of a sharpshooter. Akhmadliev can leave himself open a fair bit, but as does Inoue sometimes. I just think that would be an all-out war. I'm not sure it would go too long. I'm thinking it might go maximum of 5 rounds, to be honest. I think it'd just be swinging for the fences and whoever lands first. I'd still have my money on Inoue, but what a fight that would be. So let's hope. And look at, and of course, if it's not Inoue, if Sam Goodman gets the win, it could be Goodman and Akhmadliev. Sorry, I'm. Some of you out there just must laugh as I'm trying to pronounce some of these names. I'm just absolutely hopeless at it. But then the other big fight of the weekend, what an upset it was. Jaime Munguia knocked out by Bruno Saras. Sarazzi or Saras? I think the announcers called him Saras. But what an upset. And what was fascinating about the knockout was that it's a sort of knockout you don't see that often, where you might see him getting caught in a, just in a combination or on, coming out of an exchange or whatever it might be. This was a case of both guys, and he did come back from a knockdown as well, of course. But it was a case of Bruno Sarat. You can just see that he comes off the ropes and just goes, hang on, what are you doing there, Neil? And just, it's almost, you can see the look on his face. He's just like, all right, well, this guy's open for it. I'm just going to just go 1-2. That's all it was. It was just wasn't really set up. It was a really odd one. As I said, you don't see that often. He just got off the ropes and just went left, right, straight down the pipe. Straight down the pipe and hit him flush. And it just wasn't the type of combination you sort of see. And it was only a 1-2, but you don't see it very often where someone just lines someone up and just goes left, right, boom, and it's all over. And that's what happened. And he'd been down early, as I said, and he was just getting totally outclassed by Jaime Munguia. And just like that, it is over. And Munguia, for now, pretty much like Tim Tszyu situation. where to now? On top of the world, he had a good fight with Canelo. I thought he did quite well in that fight. Canelo obviously got the win in the end, but I thought he fought very well. And then comes back for that comeback fight and gets brutally knocked out. So he's got to sit back like Tim is doing at the moment and reassessing where he's at and what's next. I mean, it's just such a shock to the system. But yeah, I'm not sure. As for Siraj, does he get a crack now at Canelo? I would probably doubt it, but you never know. That's boxing for you. That's how it works. And he is in the mix. And look, I'd never really heard of him before, if I'm being honest, but I've definitely heard of him now. From what I've seen, look, he's not going to, in my opinion, beat those other highly ranked super middleweights. I think up to that point he was getting beaten comprehensively by Munguia, but that's all it took was that 1-2. So, but doesn't matter how you got there, as long as it is the end result, and that is him knocking out Jaime Munguia in Tijuana as well. That was the fascinating thing about it, because he could have heard a pin drop after they waved it off. It was, not a good night for Jaime Munguia. It can be great fighting in front of your hometown if it all goes according to plan, but if it doesn't, it's not a very nice place to be, and you just probably want to hide under the ring apron, don't you? But I'm sure he'll be back, but geez, it's like Tim Tszyu, it is going to be quite a haul now to lose that way. To be brutally knocked out. It's going to be interesting to see whether Jaime Munguia come back. I think he can, but it's probably set his career back a year, 18 months, something like that, hasn't it? So, but guys, that's going to probably do it for today. I know it's not the most exciting episode of Walking Boxing, but it is what it is. Look, there's plenty more to come, of course. Next weekend is Usyk and Fury 2. Geez, that's come around quick, hasn't it? I cannot wait for that. Bit of a shame that Goodman and Inoue is not on Christmas Eve, but it's all good. At least we're all off the hook now as far as spending time with the family. That's the main thing. So I, for one, I'm not that stressed that it's a month later. So, guys, we'll do it for this Monday, this hot and muggy Monday, and we will catch you tomorrow.